You're awake. Oh, thank the stars. There you are! On your feet. I know magical translocation can really upset the stomach. Just take a moment and get your bearings, all right? The Isle of Bolfiera, home of Clan Berini. I apologize for the cramped accommodations. We pride ourselves on courtesy, but circumstances here have taken a turn for the bizarre. I needed to make sure you weren't a danger to yourself or others. You might not be so eager to escape once you hear what's going on. You arrive via a portal, along with a deitric beast called Shayazel. It seized control of our golems and unleashed them on the island. If I free you, will you help me stop Shayazel? Wise choice. Just give me a moment. There. That should unlock the door. When you're ready, follow me. There you are. Free as a spring cricket. I hope you intend to keep your word. We'll need each other out there. Of that I'm certain. The name's Norianwe, by the way, of Clan Berini. Pleased to make your acquaintance. We're bound for a place called the Keyrights Gallery. But first, I need to know you can defend yourself. Hurtling through the Orbis and falling flat on your ear left you a bit scattered. Find a weapon, and we'll work out the cobwebs. Fair? Of course. I can't promise total transparency, but I'll be as forthcoming as I can. The Keyrights Gallery is an ancient substructure of Bolfiera Island, built long before my clan arrived. On account of all the doors, the gallery's full of ancient gates, each with some arcane connection to places in Tamriel and beyond. Once the gates came to life, rifts opened. You fell out of one of them. The Daedra, Shayazel, emerged from another. I cast an incantation of the steed, snatched you up, and fled as fast as my feet would carry me. I heard the Daedra cursing, followed by some kind of explosion, but I didn't look back. I hope the gallery is still standing. Nothing irresponsible, if that's what you're asking. I'm a member of Clan Dorini's Intelligence Guild, the Cinderell. More scholar than spy, I assure you. I was conducting some research in the gallery, then pop! You and that monster arrived. The gallery's always been a place of special interest for the guild, but we never quite cracked how it worked. Despite the dangers, this is our greatest breakthrough to date. The guild master will be ecstatic, provided we get it under control. Would it frustrate you to hear that I have no idea? We Doreni are cautious by nature, so the Isle of Bolfiera has many defenses. Magical stone guardians protect many of our sacred sites, but somehow this Daedra found a way to turn them against us. Ugh, do I have to? If I recall my studies correctly, I'd say it's a harvester, a huge serpentine creature that feeds on souls and magicka. If it finds a way to consume the energies of the gallery, we will be in very serious trouble. Larger weapons like staves and great axes will take both hands to use. You can pair smaller weapons with a shield, or another weapon of that size. The choice is yours. Yes, I think that one suits you. If you change your mind, feel free to take any other weapon you want. Now, let's find a spot to practice. This is as good a place as any. Now, prepare yourself while I conjure up a dance partner. Let's begin. Quickly now, strike the construct. Impressive. Attack! Well done. Well done. Now faster. Brilliant. Now do it again. Ready yourself. Quick, strike while it's off balance. That's the way. Well done. Keep up the defense. Give it everything you've got. You're unnatural. Protect yourself. Use your heaviest attack. Now, some foes will try to restrain you. Quickly, break free. Ha! You're unstoppable. Prepare yourself. You broke loose. Again, Mick. You're every bit the warrior I thought you'd be. Now, back again. Now press your advantage with a heavy attack. That was quite a blow. Swiftly now. Interrupt it. Expertly done. Interrupt now, before it strikes. When your enemy prepares an attack, strike. Interrupting their attack will set them off balance. Good, now destroy it! Well done! Come speak with me for a moment. Almost there. Let's hurry. Right. The entrance to the Keyride's gallery should be east of here. Let's set out. The Keyride's gallery is in here. Let's head inside. Well, this is upsetting. Jeffers' bones. The surge of magicka created by the portals you came through. Must have cracked this sky shard. Without a functioning sky shard, this gate remains locked, and there's no way for us to proceed. Damn! Unless you have a set of enchanting tools and a working knowledge of meteoric empowerment theory, no, there's nothing for it. We need to find a replacement. I saw one in a vault just south of here a few days ago, but it was flanked by one of the island's more powerful golems. Normally, I'd say we should search for another option, but given the circumstances, I think we have to risk it. Of course. Let's not tarry too long, though. Giant clusters of meteoric glass. They fall from Aetherius, charged with raw and very potent magicka. Mages use sky shards in all kinds of rituals and experiments. We Dureni use them as a power source. It's a monstrous sentinel called a gargoyle. I've never seen one fight, but by all accounts, they are far more powerful than the golems we've faced thus far. Giant clusters of meteoric glass. They fall from Aetherius, charged with raw and very potent magicka. Mages use sky shards in all kinds of rituals and experiments. We Dureni use them as a power source. It's a monstrous sentinel called a gargoyle. All right. Do you see that vault to the south? The sky shard is there. There it is! The sky shard! Move! Now! Get out of the way now! Counter and kill! Well fought! Grab the sky shard and let's get moving. What? Did you just absorb the energy of that shard? Incredible. Not quite what I intended, but we can work with this. Let's head back to the gate. All right, moment of truth. Focus on the sky shard aperture. With any luck, it'll respond to the power you absorbed and unlock the gate. Ha! You did it! Let's speak for a moment. I'm afraid we've reached the really scary bit. The Daedric creature responsible for all these portals waits just beyond that gate. If you have any other preparations to make them now. Again, I'm just a scholar, but I'd encourage you to remember what we practiced before. Keep moving, strike true, and exploit any opening the creature gives you. There it is! Send it back to oblivion!
You, my meal arrives at last. Wither and die! Mealworm. Only I will remain. You cannot kill what cannot die. Only I will remain.
You did it! Hopefully the gallery wasn't too badly damaged. Follow me! By all the stars! Look at the central column. I had no idea it was concealing something like this. Let's get a closer look. Well, that was thrilling. Now, we should make our way to the central chamber of the Keyride's gallery. This is the Keyride's gallery, but not as I remember it. Now I see why we never managed to unlock the gates. That power comes from this arcane helix. Amazing. With the helix exposed, these gates can finally reopen. Perhaps not all of them at first, but enough to reach most of Tamriel. The question for you, I suppose, is where to first? Can you believe this? Just look around. With this arcane helix exposed, the chamber is positively crackling with magic. The Keyride's gallery has come to life, and I finally think I know why. Because of you, matters in Tamriel are bleak. War rages in Cyrodiil. Daedric princes conspire. Dragons ride the winds of elsewhere. The Second Era needs a savior. I believe the gallery, perhaps even the adamantine tower itself, chose you. The Keyride's gallery opened doors to every corner of Tamriel. Places, I suspect, that desperately need a hero's aid. This choice is yours to make, but wherever you choose to go, I'm sure adventure awaits. May the stars protect you. So, have you chosen where to go? What region of the world strikes your fancy? Not everyone gets to pass instantly from one side of Tamriel to another, you know. This is quite a gift. What, me? No, I've got work to do. The Cinderil will want every bit of this place searched and studied. Since I did the discovering, I'll probably end up leading the effort. Adventure abroad sounds all well and good, but my place is here. Well, fate's sort of a clumsy way to put it. No offense. Honestly, we may never know why you were chosen. But I believe there was intention here. Something, whether it be the stars, the gallery, or the tower itself, placed you here for a reason. Perhaps it followed you to prevent you from reaching your, well, destiny sounds a bit too grandiose. Let's just say to stop you from reaching your potential. Then again, maybe the power of this place brought you here to stop Shayazel. Probably not, but what's a life without unanswered questions, right? Boring, if you ask me. Ha! An elf can hope. Answering that question will probably keep me occupied for the next 100 years. Is the Helix connected to the Adamantine Tower? How does it perceive distant corners of Tamriel? I may never understand it, but I'll do my best. It is a bit overwhelming, isn't it? The whole of Tamriel is stretched out before you. We could start with the political considerations. 3 great alliances vie for control of Cyrodiil. Does the fate of the Pact, Covenant, or Dominion interest you? Excellent. You can visit Stros Mackay in Daggerfall Covenant territory, an island called Kanathi's Ruse that the Aldmeri Dominion set its eyes on, or the Ebonheart Pact's domain. I don't blame you. Interprovincial intrigue is the basis of my whole profession, and even I find it tiresome after a while. I suppose that widens the map a bit. Well, as I said before, threats to Tamriel have grown like weeds practically everywhere. Would you prefer to spend time among my elven kin, the Khajiit of elsewhere, or men of the north and south? If you take the gate to Vardenfell, you can meet the Dark Elves, and maybe even the God King, Vivek. You could also travel south to Somerset Isle, our ancestral home and the primary seat of power for the High Elves. Always. Though the natives don't make it easy. High Elves of Somerset don't share the Durrani's pragmatism. They're often too proud to ask for help. But our agents reported some strange activity around the Crystal Tower. It's probably worth a look. According to our spies, the land of the catfolk is in sorry shape. Imperial holdouts sit upon the throne and a rage of dragons spilled out of the halls of Colossus, burning everything in their path. If it's adventure you seek, you'll find it there. If you take the gate to Varden, squeezing information out of the Dark Elves is delicate business. To be honest, we know far less about what's going on in Morrowind than we should. I can tell you that Vivek put out a summons for heroes recently. That's worrying. Certainly. One of these gates appear to go to Western Skyrim, a hermitical kingdom of Nords led by King Svargrim. The other leads to Blackwood, at the southern tip of Cyrodiil. Imperial remnants rule there. The Nords of Western Skyrim are inhospitable, to put it lightly. Even so, we've been able to glean a few things. I've read reports about increased vampiric activity in the region. Never a good sign. They need stout adventurers to deal with it. Excellent. You can visit Stros Mackay and Dagger... This door leads to High Isle, in the Sisters Archipelago. Our spies believe leaders of the Great Alliances will gather there for a peace summit. But this will draw conspirators. They could plunge Tamriel into deeper chaos. Unless you stop them.
High Isle feels so peaceful most of the time. That's why I like it here. A respite from all the chaos of the mainland.
The temperature of the islands is quite unique. It facilitates all sorts of strange and beautiful things.
Some precious cargo was supposed to sail in on the morning tide, but it never arrived.
The people need to believe we have things under control.
Long ago, we druids left Tamriel and its troubles behind us. But here, our ancient ways survived.
I believe a knight should not be measured by the worth of their weapon, but by the allies they keep.
These manifestations of the island's fiery heart reveal the majesty and power of the natural order.
Nature itself has fallen out of balance.
Storm and fire will bring down the old regimes.
Over here, I could use your help. Fresh off the boat, eh? High Isle is a good place for an adventurer to earn some gold, provided you have the right connections. The name's Jakarn. My patron needs someone like you. An unknown, so to speak. It'd be worth your time to befriend her. Lady Arabelle DeVoe. Maybe you've heard of her. She's a famous investigator and author. Diplomat, too, which is why she's here. She runs in circles way above my station. But I owe her a debt that I'm trying to pay. Maybe you can help me do that. A fair bit of gold, most likely. Lady Arabelle works for one of the richest nobles in all Tamriel, Lord Bacaro Valoris. He's sponsoring an important conference here on the island. But there's a problem. Trust me, the payday will be worth it. Lady Arabelle will appreciate an outsider's perspective. She's at the Gonfalon Bay docks with Lord Bacaro, if you want to introduce yourself. The problem I mentioned, it involves some missing ships. Anyway, tell her Jakarn sent you. I'm her favorite. Long story. It involves multiple maidens, a few princes, and one charming rogue who stole all their hearts. Then the authorities got involved. Fortunately, Lady Arabelle agreed to take responsibility for my good behavior. Now I owe her.
Well, I shouldn't just walk into someone's home, even if they were rude. Oh, good. A kind face. I have tried time and again to ask politely for my friend's safe return, but they rudely mock me in response. Would you help me retrieve Privet? They took her away into Breakwater Cave. Didn't even ask my permission. Oh, my Privet is without a doubt the most beautiful sheep on the island. Just ask anyone and they'll agree. A swell of Hadalids reside in this cave. They displayed such inner ugliness and took Privet. I just heard her cries from inside. Well, even if my Privet was just your typical sheep, which she is not, that would not excuse the Hadalids' rude behavior. I need someone strong to support my negotiations for Privet's return. How would you feel about joining me in exchange for coin? I knew you looked friendly. There goes a true friend to animals, I said. Now, with you to accompany me into the cave, our negotiations can begin. They may get rough, but I refuse to leave without my Privet. I am so much more than a simple farmer. They only think of animals as a source of income, or even food. No, I am an animal steward. I serve each of the creatures under my care. Whatever their needs may be, I attend to them. Absolutely. In many ways, I take care of every creature on High Isle. Those that cannot speak for themselves, anyway. Many animals find their way to my home that deserve special attention. Privet was just such a sheep. I woke one morning and instantly knew someone needed my care. I leapt from bed and ran to my door. And just out front, there she was. Oh, Privet was quite the beauty. From the moment I laid eyes on her, I knew I had to serve her. I regret that I didn't introduce myself when they arrived. Such a simple gesture from me could have prevented this crime. Hadalids aren't soft like sheep. They're covered in hard shells with nasty spikes, like overgrown mud crabs. Oh, and the smell. Like rotten meat floating in dirty seawater. They usually live far below the water, so I shouldn't judge. Maybe my scent of fine lanolin and fresh hay offends them. Oh, listen to me gossiping like a child. This happens when I get emotional. Sadly, no. That's the sort of thing I'd learn in a friendly conversation. I've heard rumors about Hadalid attacks on other islands around here. In the past, I assumed that was just bigotry. Now, I'm not so sure. Of course you do. I could go on for an eternity about her. I already mentioned her beauty, but she's also so considerate. One time, I caught her chewing on a shirt. I felt very cross until I realized she'd done me a favor. It was my old, worn gardening shirt. I like to give used cloth to the seamstress in town. She makes patches, but she's old and it hurts her to cut cloth, so I cut it before donating. Privet saved me the trouble. She's great. I am so much more than a simple farmer. They only think of animals as a source of income, or even food. No, I am an animal steward. I serve each of the creatures under my... Absolutely. In many ways, I take care of every creature on High Isle. Those that cannot speak for themselves, anyway. Many animals. I woke one morning and instantly... Oh, it's much darker and damper than I expected. Not sure I'd choose such a place to live, but who am I to judge? The Hadalid culture probably has different values. Somewhere in here is my privet. Let's look around. Oh no, privet! Wait, these aren't sheep bones. Maybe a horse? Oh, poor thing. Finding Privet's sash worries me. She'd never take that off. Unless she left it as a clue. She wants me to know she's here. The bones we found looked gnawed on, but none of them were sheep bones. So I feel confident Privet's still alive. What a horrible notion. You don't think they'd plan to eat poor Privet? How could anyone look into those sweet eyes and consider such a deed? Privet isn't food. She's a friend. But I must agree, very nasty behavior from my new neighbors. We know Privet came through here because we found her sash. But since we didn't see any sheep bones, they must have moved her. Let's search the caves over to the west. I know it's rude to rummage around someone's home, but they started it. From the archipelago to the mainland, everything is war and fighting. But it doesn't have to be that way. I try to assume people have good intentions, and usually they do. Maybe this is all a misunderstanding. I can work that out later. I think I hear her bleating. We must be close. Oh no, Privet! How could they put my beautiful friend in a cage? We absolutely must free her. Sweet Privet, reunited at last! A cave exit is nearby. Come, Privet, let's get out of here. Oh, my dear Privet, I don't know how I could live without you. I must say, and I don't usually speak ill of anyone except goats, but those Hadalids were awful. Didn't even bother to explain themselves. I'm thankful you came along to help. And Privet tells me she appreciates you as well. No, thankfully. Her wool is damp and dirty, which I find offensive, but she's safe. I'll clean her right up in no time. Please, take this as a thank you from the both of us. I'm glad that not everyone is as rude as those Hadalids. I must say, and I don't usually... No, High Isle feels so peaceful most of the time. That's why I like it here, a respite from all the chaos of the mainland. But recently there are Hadalids and rogue knights roaming the roads. And adventurers like you. Too much excitement for me. First thing, Privet needs a bath. She seems a little sad at the moment, but a long soak should fix that. Then I'll make us a meal. Ah, the simple pleasures. I just want her to feel safe again. You were quite stern with them. Maybe the Hadalids caught the message not to bother their neighbors. If I see them lurking around again, I will just tell them they're not welcome. I can be quite stern as well when I need to be. They fell for her charms, obviously. Who wouldn't want my sweet Privet living with them? She brightens every room, even a moldy cave. Maybe those Hadalids never intended to eat her. Yes, that must be it. She was never in danger.